Hey everybody, this is Country Echoes. Today I will be setting up a 10-gallon enclosure for my Leachianus Gecko Titan. He has been in a small exoterra tank and he's growing at a pretty rapid pace, and I think it's time for him to move on up to a larger enclosure. In the past, I have gotten a little bit of controversy over putting my Rhactodactylus geckos in a 10-gallon enclosure, probably due to its short height, but all of my Rhactodactylus geckos, my gargoyle gecko, and my crest gecko have all been through the 10-gallon enclosure, and they've done nothing but thrive in the enclosure as well. When I first put my crested gecko in there, that was my first time putting a gecko in a 10-gallon enclosure that's supposed to be in a little bit of a taller enclosure. I was a little worried, of course, but after seeing Frito thrive throughout the 10-gallon, I was no longer worried to place any of my other Rhactodactylus geckos in there. So I don't. There's no reason to worry about putting your gecko in a 10-gallon enclosure. But you must move them out of it later on. A 10-gallon tank laying this way is probably not the best tank for any arboreal species. I recommend a taller enclosure. But as I said, this is just the middle tank. They start off in a smaller tank, move to a medium-sized tank, the 10-gallon, then to their adult-sized cage, which for my Rhactodactylus leachianus will be a 18 by 18 by 24 exoterra or zoom id. So there you go. That was a lot of words. So I've gone ahead and placed the Reptibark in here. It's probably one of my favorite substrates due to its low impaction rate. I've never had any of my animals become impacted on this. It's a safe substrate. It looks very nice. It's an attractive substrate, easy to use, and you can buy it at most pet stores. Holds a good bit of humidity, so really strong substrate. So now I'm gonna add some cage decor and hides and things like that. So I'm gonna add this little skull right here, or statue of a head. I like to put some substrate on it just to make it look a little more weathered. And I've got a pretty small layer of substrate in here because Leachianuses are not burrowers, so I don't need to concern about my Leachianus not having deep substrate. And I also have two cardstock papers right here. Those are to block out the sun because his cage will be facing a window, so it's going to get some sunlight. So that's blocking out some sun, adding some attractiveness, and probably giving my gecko a safe feeling being in that little corner. So that's where I'm going to place her cork hollow. But first I'm going to add this vine. I've had these vines ever since I got my crest gecko, which was, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. I just got a big spool of vines that kind of resemble a pothos plant. So that's something I really recommend for any Bractodactylus keeper or arboreal lizard keeper because that just lasted me a very long time. And a pretty strong product. You can bend them in whatever way you want to. Let's set it. So there you go. So now I'm going to start adding. I'm going to add the feeding ledge for my gecko. Well, first I'm going to add this plant. So I've got this plant. I think this is by ZoomEd. I've had it with my Bractodactylus pretty much his or her whole life. I'm pretty sure he's a he, but just say both just in case. I think I set that in the corner. I'll probably put the cork bark right there. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it a good spray. This is my beast of a sprayer right here. I think it holds, let's see, 1 gallon. So it holds a bunch of water. It's a nice pump sprayer. It's got an adjustable nozzle. I think it was $10 at Lowe's. So just an awesome sprayer. Try not to get the glass so you guys can see. Let's get some of this substrate moist. And as I said, the Reptibark will retain a lot of moisture that you give it. So a good way to add humidity. So let's go ahead and add this cork bark, which my gecko is currently in. Let's see. There's Titan's little white eye right there, as you can see. In this cork bark, he blends in so well with it. It's pretty cool. So I think I'll set that over in here. And I'm going to give you guys a better look of the entirety of the cage at the end of the video. I feel like this is kind of a big deal for my geckos, moving into such a alien enclosure, but they eventually get used to it. Got some magnolia leaves right here, mainly for decor, and they also have a pretty natural, really good smell to them, so it kind of deodorizes the cage, which is a really nice feature. I think Titan's a little concerned. I'm going to add a couple more leaves. I usually don't add live moss or live plants until I put my animals into their permanent enclosure, and that has held up so far, so true. So, those leaves look really nice. Got these at New England neherp.com. I think that's what it's called. You guys should go check that out. Might put a link in the description. It's a really great site with some awesome plants and all kinds of cool stuff for you reptile keepers. Now I'm going to place the feeding ledge in the cage. So, as you can see, Titan's a beast of an eater, so he's already kind of devoured the majority of his food. Let's go ahead and put suction cups. I'm going to place it close to his cork bark, so it's not too much of a hassle for him to move around. Oh, I think I should have. I got this feeding ledge with Titan. It's just a clear feeding ledge. It's really functional. It might not look the best, but functionality kind of trumps that, especially for this kind of product. It's got the suction cups in place. I'm going to place it up here. I like to feed my geckos off the ground for obvious reasons of impaction. Even though I use this Repti bark, there's not much of a worry with impaction, but you just want to be rather safe than sorry. So I'm going to give it one more good spray down. Then I'll put the screen on top and I'll show you guys how it looks. I totally recommend getting a sprayer like this. It beats out any other sprayer I've ever used. It's a really awesome reptile keeping tool. So let me show you the setup itself. So, sorry about the glare. I'll just show you from right here. So there's Titan. Focus camera. Looks really cool. So this is the setup. Got the hide or decor, whatever you choose to call it, right there. The leaves, which are really, really good ground cover, look really cool. The plant, cork hollow, the vine, and sprayed it down pretty well. Got the Repti bark in the bottom. I recommend Repti bark mixed with sphagnum moss and egarth. It's just a really cool looking combination. Looks pretty sweet. So, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Oh, and here's the feeding ledge right here, right next to his cork hollow. So that's a convenient location for Titan. So hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I will see y'all later. This is Country Echoes. Bye.